Brian Hendricks, and we're working on this red fox. We've got the head put together now. We're just going to do some final adjustments, a little bit of grooming and stuff. And I have these pins that were in the corners of the mouth there. I'm going to take and push those on in now so that we can do the final adjustments on the corner of that mouth. That should all nice and lay down now. That pin was kind of holding the skin out there a little bit. It was rolled over the top of it. That should give us a nice full back corner of the mouth there. Nice hair patterns going there. Got some whiskers here. Look at these whiskers. There should be symmetrical on both sides there, and pull those out where they belong. Okay, I'm going to do some work on the ears. I'm going to pin those into location. It's going to be kind of difficult for me to see what I'm doing. You'll be able to see what I'm doing, but we'll see what we can come up with. I'm going to come around this way. I'm going to do this one first. Okay, I've got that one. That one looks like it's kind of where I want it there. Maybe up just a little bit like that. So I'm going to put a pin in right in that leading inside corner of that ear. And that'll keep it from, that should keep that from dropping back. Yes, it does. And then I'm also going to put one in down under here. And that'll keep that from sliding into a different position that I don't want. That should hold that ear there. I mean, I still can turn a little bit, move it a little bit, but it's not going to go totally out of position with it right there. While I'm over here, I told you I'd show you how I do those little flaps on the ears. Let me get things ready here. Might not be able to see this side, huh? And we'll also put a card on the ear. We want to keep those edges nice and smooth while it dries. I'm just kind of getting things ready here. Okay, for the inside little flaps on those ears, over this way. This one had some scarring on it right in there, so it's, I don't know what it's going to end up looking like. Open it all up here now. Well, we'll be able to see better on that other side. Get a better angle. Anyway, I got that kind of opened up, and it's weird because it's all scarred right there, so it doesn't really open up and lay right. But anyway, it's the same technique. I'm going to take and cut the head off of a Q-tip. I'll show you what I just did here. I just cut the head off of that Q-tip right there, and that seems to be about the right size to lay inside that little ear flap right there and give it the nice, the right size of fullness and openness. And then I've got a little piece of masking tape here. I'm going to pinch a fold into it right there and then take a hold of it by that. And I'm going to lay that masking tape right over top of that just to hold that Q-tip in place while the skin dries. Just like that. And that's enough. It doesn't look like it's hardly holding anything, but that's all it takes to hold that in place while it dries. I'll come around and do the same thing on the other side. Oh, I got to put the ear card on there too on here. You know what? I need to adjust the ear, and I need to look at that before I put those cards on. So I'm going to be on that side of this side. Probably come over here, and I'll do that flap and stuff on this side. You'll be able to look right into it and see what I'm doing that way. But first, we want to get the ear in the location where we want it. Oh, this one needs to come up a little bit forward and rotate a little bit. I'm going to make them kind of symmetrical. Remember, their ears, they can look all different directions, but you still want something that looks kind of pleasing to the person that has to look at it all the time. So just because it's right doesn't necessarily mean it's pleasing when you're going by reference and stuff. That one kind of where I want it. And what I'm doing here is I'm feeling the bottom of that ear liner where that is, the roundness, the bottom roundness of it, and I'm pressing up against that and then pushing the pin in, and it's just giving it support is all it's doing. We'll see if that's going to stay where I put it. That looks pretty good right there. Now you can also see I had that pin that I pushed in up there before, and I've also pushed a pin in underneath the jaw here, and that gives me two solid handles that I can turn that head with. I pushed that pin into the neck evidently instead of into the head. Do it. So when I tried to turn the head, it moved the pin. There we go. Okay. So now I can still rotate that head a little bit when I need to do that. Okay, now we will open up that flap on your side over here. And there it is. Okay, you can see into that flap area right there, no problem now. And I will cut the head off of another Q-tip here. I'll lay that in there. Let's see what I got going here. Like that. It almost stays in there by itself, but it'll fall out as the skin dries if you don't put some tape over it. Kind of all it takes. It's just kind of keeping a gap there so that skin doesn't just close up. Okay, we got that pretty good. Got these little whiskers here that I was talking about. Those two are pretty symmetrical. These two are pretty good. We got our eyebrows. Do a little more grooming on this thing. You got little creases on top of the nose right there that go up to where the bone stops. I'm going to emphasize those a little bit. Okay, got the corner of the mouth right there where I did press that pin in already, but there's a little bit of a bulge there. I'm going to work that down. There we got a nice smooth transition there. Back corner of the mouth is nice and round there. Do some back brushing and stuff, and it's going to emphasize or, you know, make everything look full and soft. We want to back brush that whole muzzle like that. And I'm going to go over this thing with the air hose and the blow dryer too when I'm done. I'm going to go over the whole animal again just to fluff that back out again before I set it aside to start drying, because I want to make sure everything's as fluffy as it can be. See, this isn't a real prime fox. It doesn't have a lot of fluff to begin with, but so we still want to make it look as nice as it can. I'm brushing those hair patterns back across that ear opening there. Just make sure everything's kind of in place. They're covering those ear openings the way they're supposed to. That's pretty good there. And then I'm going to put my ear cards on. These are just cut out of cracker box or whatever, cereal box, whatever. To the shape of the ear. I'm laying one on the back and one on the front. And I'm pulling them up till they're just past the edge of the hair. And then we're going to paper clip them in place. Try to keep that hair where you want it as you're putting that ear card on there. Wherever you have that hair, that's pretty much where it's going to dry. And it being pressed there, that's not so big of a deal. It's a big deal if you have it all up there and it's pressed in. But as long as it's spread out where it's supposed to be, it'll be fine. That's going to keep the edges of that ear pretty nice and crisp. Same thing on this side. Short one paper clip there. other side here. Okay, I think we pretty much got this fox ready to set aside. Like I said, other than blow drying it. Let me look at it a little bit here. Crook it that way. Looks like I want to do something with the corner of that mouth. There's a, oh, I see. We got this little bit of a, let's just we'll pull this hair down, these patterns down here a little bit on the corner of that mouth. Looked a little funny there. Feel that after you do things like that. Feel it to make sure you didn't create a wrinkle when you did that. And that it still flows around there smooth. I can feel a little bit of a wrinkle right there. I'm going to get that out just by moving it with my fingernail. I can smooth that out. A little funny there. Don't be afraid to go over all this stuff again the second day, because things will start to firm up a little bit, and you can move things and they'll stay a little bit better that second day. You got a little bit of clay or something showing in the inside corner of that eye. Hold it. There we go. It's a little cleaner. Okay. Yep. Now tomorrow I will go over this whole thing again. I'll blow it all over again, fluff it out again, and go over the eyes a little bit, play with those a little bit, and any other things I see. You're always going to see things the second day that you didn't see right when you were putting it together. So it is important to go over them again the next day. Maybe take the ear cards off and look at those ears again, see if they're right where you want them. And the more time you put into it, look at your reference and go from there. So next thing we'll see is this thing will dry up in a week or two, and we'll be ready to put whiskers back into it and do a little bit of finish work on it.